Yo, yo, yo. Hey, guys, welcome back to another awesome edition of the Best Practices Show podcast. My name is Kirk Barron, and I'm so grateful that you keep showing up because if you're in dentistry or not in dentistry, doesn't matter. My hope is that you get a little bit out of this to improve whatever you do and improve your life. And today we're going to do exactly that. A lot of you, especially dentists, trying to figure out social media, doing a lot of wrong things. And so today we're going to be talking about what most dentists get wrong about social media with an amazing expert. Her name is Allison Lacoursiere, and she is brilliant. So check this out. She's going to describe her 5 buckets and how to use them in your practice. So hope you guys enjoy the episode. We'll see you soon. Hey guys, welcome back to the Best Practices Show podcast. I'm so pumped you're here. I'm so happy you guys are listening. I'm just crazy grateful, and thank you guys for all the things that you guys send me. And one of the questions that keeps coming up is like social media, like what do I do? And I'm like, I don't know. So I figured we bring in one of the experts out there to show you what you're doing wrong with social media. If you're a dental practice owner, or if you work in a dental practice, with Allison Lacoursiere. So Allison, thanks for being on. Appreciate you.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here today.
Yeah. Now I'm super excited. I'm super excited to finally get you on our podcast. Like you've been on some other things that we've done, and you and I just recently did a program for Seattle Study Club. And you're really doing an amazing job, making a huge impact and doing some really cool stuff, not only social media, but marketing, clear aligning, coaching. I think it's pretty cool what you're doing. And if you guys are listening, which you should be, you're going to see Allison's pretty sharp. And so we're going to be talking. But before we get into this topic, to help dentists do better with social media, I want people to know who you are. So give them your bio. Like, who are you? What do you do?
Thank you so much. So I have grown up in dentistry. I was a dental assistant, a orthodontic assistant, a treatment coordinator, and I actually moved to Bermuda when I was 19 to work in a practice where I systemized the practice and I created really, really robust Invisalign systems. And so my doc was like, okay, let's be the manager. So I became the manager of the practice, and other practices in the US kind of saw what I was doing with clear aligners, and they were asking for help and support, which really just kind of catapulted me into being a coach and a consultant. So I got certified as a professional coach. And in the meantime, I had always been running really strategic marketing in my practice and started helping practices with social media, with clear aligner systems, and with coaching in the practice of team training and all of the things that I love to do. And so it really was like an organic process, and I kind of evolved into it. And so now I travel all over North America talking about social media, clear aligners, team engagement. I have my own team. We have a marketing agency, and I have my own consulting practice. So I stay really busy, but it's all with things that I love to do so much. So that's what I've been up to.
That's awesome. Well, you do it extremely well, and I'm going to ask you guys check out her stuff. And so I've got a bajillion questions for you today, and I'll start right here. Social media is tough for me. Like, I know it's a necessary part of the business. I love seeing how my friends are doing and family and all this stuff. And as a business owner myself, I feel icky a little at times, like really trying to go there with social media. So, and Twitter, I hope we don't talk about Twitter, but I know it's important. I was always hopeful that Twitter was just going to die a miserable death and just disappear, but it didn't. It became stronger. And so there's my 2 cents on it. And I also, raising 4 kids, like social dilemma. And it's like I'm caught in this vortex where I know it's important. I actually like some of it, and I know spending too much time, and if it's not authentic. So I'm going to throw you this hot mess of questions and challenges that I have or that other people have, and I want you to help serve. But why is this topic so important? Like, let's start with the big picture on social media and dentistry. What do you think?
100%. And it is something that is really important. And you're right. Like, it can be just as bad or as frustrating or as, difficult as it can be good. And so it's not something that, you're alone with. And I am sure many people that are listening are probably kind of feeling the same things that you were thinking. It's just the future. It's the future of the way that we communicate. It's the future of the way that our patients find out information about us. And what I like to call it now is it's our digital resume when we are a business owner. And so when we want people to understand who we are, what matters to us, and really kind of like pull back the curtain on what we're doing in our business, social media is the best way we can do this with its visual platform and with the way that it's reaching this audience that is our biggest purchasers and decision makers that the world has ever seen currently are millennials. And so, it wasn't always as important, but it's becoming more and more important because our audience has changed. The people that we're trying to talk to has changed, and this is the way that they digest information. Right. And so, one of the biggest kind of things I would say that I see in the industry where we're doing it wrong with social media is having a mindset that it has to be a certain way or we have to be a certain way on social media for it to be successful. So you mentioned the word authenticity, and that's exactly it. If you can understand why social media is going to help your business, how it's going to help your business, like understand the platforms that you're going to use to get in front of the people that you want to serve the most, and then know how you can show up authentically, it's not going to feel as icky. And it's going to have this very strong purpose to it so that you can really be excited about social media rather than dread it.
Okay, so go right there. So let's give everybody an example of authenticity and maybe what you would consider not necessarily authenticity. And I'll help you with it. Like some of these, you're like, oh my gosh, this practice is trying way too hard. And they've got this picture of a tooth and they're really like going out of their way. And then there's people that are like, oh my gosh, look what just happened. My team, it's a photo of them out by the dumpster having fun. And like, I don't know if I would actually show that, but it's kind of cool because they were being really honest about things. What do you see on both sides of the fence? Good and bad when it comes to authenticity?
100%. So what I say to my practices is like, don't change anything about who you are to get onto social media. Just show what you're doing that is working. Like show the great care that you're doing with your patients, show the fun that you're having with your team, show like who you guys are as a practice. And that's what's going to be the social proof that will allow patients to choose you and know, like, and trust you. And so that's doing it well, is understanding your values, your vision, who you are, showcasing in a very authentic way what's happening in your practice every single day. What's not doing it well is when you feel the need to just only post dancing videos on the platform, or when you're only emulating other pages that you're seeing that really isn't authentic to you. You can always tell when you watch a video and the dentist is just like, I would rather be anywhere else than be doing this dancey video right now.
Right.
And it doesn't really work. We either get to educate or entertain on our page. We provide value. And so what kind of practice are you? And does dancing really resonate with the type of practice that you are? And if it doesn't, then don't dance. You don't have to. You can educate and you can inspire and you can provide value in different ways.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So I think we could say this, social media is not going to go away. We were always, with anything, you're like, is this going to last? I think it's here to stay. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's not. It's just going to continue to evolve. And I don't know 100% what it's going to continue to evolve into. We can see some of the trends, like video content is really important. Giving really relevant information is really important. A lot of people want to uncover information on social media and then they share it with their friends and family. And so it's going to continue to evolve, but it's 100% not going to go away.
Yeah. Okay. So you're going to be my therapist for a little bit when it comes to social media. So there's a lot of trends out there. Whenever I talk to dentists, there's like, oh my gosh, this dentist in Texas is killing it with TikTok. You got to go TikTok. Well, okay, I'll date myself here. I'm 52, so like TikTok I don't enjoy it. I'm on it. I don't really you feel this, I'm going to make up a phenomenon. It's called TikTok pressure. I feel pressure to be going in that direction. So help me through that if I'm a dentist listening, whether I'm 32, 42, or 52, like what do I do?
So you have to remember, like, what is TikTok? TikTok is a platform, a social media platform that is, entertaining and engaging. And a lot of people are on it because of the nature of how engaging it is. And so if we're a dentist or a business owner, we're thinking, okay, why would I want to be on TikTok? It is to get in front of more people that we can serve.
Right.
So like, don't forget why we're doing this in the first place. It's not to get TikTok famous. It is to be able to share a message with the people that you want to serve the most, to either influence them to come into your practice or to find out more about you. That's why we're doing this.
I love it.
So if you think about like what your goal is, you know, with this industry and all of the people that you're serving, and you shared with me earlier that you love doing podcasts, you love, you know, meeting people, you know, you can repurpose this to put it onto TikTok. Mm-hmm. Or you can have little snippets of your conversations with the people that matter to you and put that on TikTok. So it's really like getting aligned with like, what is the purpose of this? And how am I going to show up in a way that really, you know, makes me feel good and I'm happy to do? And so that people can understand who I am, how I help them, and maybe give them a call to action to find out more about me.
I love it. I love it. So this topic is such a good one, like what you get wrong about social media. Okay, so let's go there from a scientific mind, because if dentists are listening, you know, they're scientists. Okay, Allison, I work 8 hours a day with patients. Okay, like let's talk about the how. Like, how do I do this? You know, I don't even... I mean, we could use me as a lab experiment. It's not like I can't even answer text messages. So you're going to ask, you know, every dentist that I talk to is like, okay, listen, do I have a team member that's in charge of this? Do I do it myself? Can you help us with what goes wrong there?
100%. The biggest thing that's going wrong is that dentists are trying to do it themselves, and that is not the best use of your time. Should you understand what best practice is for your social media? Absolutely. Should you understand what good looks like for your social media? 100%. But should you be managing it and running it? No, not at all. And so either you have a team member that you feel is interested and excited about social media and has the time as a specific role in the practice that can learn and do it and take over the systems. And I want to go back to the systems later, because it's the key to success is to create systems with this. Or you find a company that one has a dental background or understands dentistry itself and will create and produce authentic content. This is the key. Many social media marketing companies still have not moved past the stock images and the static images that they post to 30 of their other accounts, which is death for your social media page at this point in time. So an authentic social media company that's going to help you pull out content from your practice and post it for you, or somebody in your practice that creates as a job description and knows the systems.
Okay, so go back to that. You're using one of my favorite words, which is system. I believe, and this isn't about me, this is about you in helping dentists, but like, I believe everything that's important can be systematized, you know? And so how do I build a system for social media? Give me an example of what that looks like from your perspective.
Okay, so with successful social media pages, you need relevant content that's happening like in real time in your practice almost every day. Best practice, you post 5 times to your account per day. And so what system do we need the most is to be able to capture content. So one of my like mantras is, if you're going to try to do a very successful social media page, don't let a special moment in your practice go uncaptured. So make sure your team is on board capturing those special moments, either with your patients when they're having a smile reveal, or you're at your team event and team retreat and you're learning how to even take better care of your patients. Capture all of that, because that is the authentic content that patients need to see to know, like, and trust you as a provider.
That's awesome. So the first part is to find the capturing system. So you're going to be our capturer. So you have a capture champion for the most part in a practice type of a thing?
100%. So you teach everyone in the practice to know how to capture it, and you create one location where everyone puts their images to. So some practices are like absolutely no phones in the practice. That's totally fine. Get a practice phone that everyone can capture content on. Other than that, you can have everyone capture their own content from their own phone and put it in a centralized area where that person will take the content and post it to the platform.
Okay, I'm going to totally geek out on this because I love this. And so when you say post them, it's basically photos and videos. So you could create, like, we have a Google photo account that we use I'm like, I want everything in there. And so that's what you're talking about, creating something where that's getting populated, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
And then when you're saying posting 5 times a day, you've seen these, or I don't know how they work, but like there's propagators or like Hootsuite, or are you pre-scheduling them? Like there's 2 camps here. Some people say, no, you don't want to do that. And there are people that are like, no, you do want to do that. Where do you fall in that suggestion?
So when it comes to Instagram, for example, on your story, that is the little feature that goes away within 24 hours. 100% post that organically from your phone. For your feed posts or your reels, you can schedule those. Okay. And we know what gets scheduled gets done. And when we block time to do something like consistently, we're going to be more efficient. And so my recommendation is that you schedule what you can schedule and then daily show up on the story authentically on the app.
Okay. This is awesome. I love it. I'm a geek because I love this stuff. So as part of your system, is this what you're talking about in the morning huddle? Like how, Allison, I'm totally understanding what you're saying, but like, how do I get everybody to do this? Like, do I put it in the morning huddle? Is it a checklist every day that has to be turned in? Like, how do we do this?
100%. So with like anything that we're implementing in our practices, we need to start from the very beginning and help our team understand why. Why is social media so important? Why are we spending time on this? Why are we creating this new effort in order for us to be successful on the platform? And really it comes down to, guys, we need to educate our patients that we are an exceptional practice and that we are a great fit for them to come and serve their dental needs. So really get that buy-in from your team first. Help them understand why social media is important. And then you move into the how. So in your morning huddle, I always love to look ahead at the patients that you love and you know that they love you for opportunities to share their special moments or to share their experience in the practice. So in the morning huddle, you decide, what are we capturing on social media today? And what we do when we start at the very beginning, we ask a practice, like, what makes you special? We create 5 buckets that make a practice special. Usually it's, the doctor and their personality and their skill set, the team, the digital technology that they're using, the patient experience, and maybe their specialty in sleep or clear aligners or something. So you create these 5 buckets and all of your content will represent and honor those 5 buckets. So a lot of people think, oh my gosh, I don't know what to capture. And there's so I'm not inspired to capture this content. But really marketing is not about saying a different message every day. It's about saying the same message in different ways. And so when we can understand what those buckets are that make our practice successful, we can every day in our morning huddle be like, what are we capturing today? What do we need to share with our audience today? What do our patients need to hear? And then that allows you guys to capture that day and then celebrate when you do.
I love it. I love it. You're simplifying this because some of us in the dental industry just see social media as this vast ocean. And I love what you said about the 5 buckets. Once you figure out what the 5 buckets are, now if it doesn't fit in the bucket, we don't use it or we just don't even try it. I do want to ask you about what people get wrong with goals. I'm guessing, don't go into social media thinking, well, we need 10 new patients out of all of our efforts. Is the first part just to be consistent and have some fun and be authentic doing it and not necessarily be goal-centric, would you imagine? Or not?
I would say one of the biggest things that I see wrong with goals is first, it's the delegation. Like sometimes you'll have a hygienist or a dental assistant be like, yeah, I like social media, and be like, great, you can run it. And that is not a clear goal. That's not a clear delegation. That's just very it's vague and it doesn't usually work. Right. So that's, I would say, the first thing is oh, my goal is to just have my team member do it without any direction or clarity. Big problem. The second problem is expecting that after putting up 3 posts, you're going to have patients banging down the door to get into your practice. Social media is the long game. And social media is more about social proof, credibility. I also call it kind of your internal digital referral system. So when people say, oh, you should go and check out the Green Bank dental practice, what a millennial will do is go onto social media and look at that practice, because with Instagram especially, it's such a visual platform. You get to see the inside of the practice. You get to see the way that you're taking care of patients, and it allows that person to trust you more and then create that appointment. So it's a long game. And now especially, you do need to run paid ads to get new patients coming through social media.
Yeah, that's so important. And so a big piece of it, a lot of times, myself included, I'll post something, I'm like, well, no one liked that. There was only 10 likes and there was 0 comments, and you can't get, probably, would you coach me? And don't get hung up on that, because that can really spin you in the wrong direction. Like now you're paying attention to who's not liking it, and that's a waste of time, don't you think?
100%. And we call follows and likes vanity metrics because they don't mean a lot. And so when we dig into the analytics of a page, we'll see engagement, we will see views, we will see profile visits, website clicks. That's the actual metric that's going to bring patients into your office or create the return on investment that you're looking for. It's not follows and likes. And the reality is too, on social media, there is a lot of cool things to look at. There's puppies, there's amazing vacation homes. Dentistry is interesting, but let's be honest, not a lot of people are going to be searching for dentists to follow. And so if somebody's not following you, that doesn't mean they're not looking at your page.
Right. And, it's almost too complex to think about because as soon as I click on a pair of shorts that I like, it follows me on the internet. And then my wife, strangely enough, is getting ads for the same shorts. And I'm like, I know she's not clicked on those kinds of shorts. It's really weird. Gosh, I don't even know where I'm going with that. But it's too complex for a dentist to try to figure out. I think if you can stick to the 5 buckets, stick to a system, talk about things that are authentic and honest, you're going to be okay long term. Yeah. I think also too, what you can do is I'm a big core values fan. And so what's really fun, and I met Chris Savage from Wistia many years ago, and he's a brilliant billionaire. He's the guy that ran the whole thing. And he was talking, I asked him for help and he's like, stop, you're making this way too hard. He goes, you want to know what the secret to marketing is? I go, what? He said, spend your life talking about things you care about, because you're going to attract other people that care about the same things that you care about. Don't get tricky with this. Don't get fancy. Your favorite customers will go, that person cares about the things that I care about. Do you agree with that or disagree? I'm kind of leading you with that question, but what am I missing? I'm terrible at marketing, but I wanted to throw that in the mix.
The thing that I think it has been a mistake that people have made, especially in recent years, is on social media, you can now really share what you stand for and what you stand against. You don't have to be so generic or try to make sure that nobody is offended or, or try to appeal to everyone. If you're a practice that believes in having fun, if you're a practice that believes in taking exceptional care of your patients and you're showing that on your page, the people that want to come or are interested in that are going to come to you. Now, if you are a practice that wants to have, this is a bad example, $2.99 crowns, and you want to, bargain discount your root canals, then, the patients that are going to want that will come to you for that specifically. Right. So I agree with that 100%. And you will find the people that are interested and care about things that you care about when you demonstrate your values on the page. And so something that we do as an exercise with the practices that I work with, we write out the core values of the practice. And then we brainstorm what is a video we could film today that would honor that core value or showcase that core value as an example in your practice. And as a team, we brainstorm this and we get fun and we have a great time and we come up with a list of 30 to 40 videos that we can film that are going to honor the practice's values.
That's brilliant. I love it. You're giving me homework to do now. This is awesome. Now, when you talk about things that you value, you've actually been serving a really special niche in dentistry. The clear aligner thing has taken off, and you've kind of become the expert on marketing in clear aligner. Why? How? And tell me, if I'm a dentist, where clear aligners have come and where they're heading and why marketing is important in that segment.
Oh my gosh, 100%. So when I was the Invisalign leader in my practice, and I, was bonus based on how many patients that I got. And I was like, how are we going to reach out to more patients? So I started promoting it on Instagram. And in my practice in Bermuda, it started to go really well promoting it on Instagram. And I was like, we're onto something here, because amazingly, Invisalign has been a big leader in clear aligners for a long time, and they have educated patients so well on what clear aligners are. So from a dental perspective, they've done a big heavy lift for us to explain what this is and actually help them want it even before we've mentioned it to them. And so when we can talk about things like that on our social platform, we're actually educating our patients on what their possibilities are, or even overcoming their objectives before they come into the practice. And so it reduces the touch point of sale when you have somebody reading about your clear aligner therapy options or seeing patients before and afters on your social media. So I got really excited about that. And when I started working with practices initially with just clear aligners, part of the system I felt was really, really critical was social media. It was the way that we attracted new patients. It was the way that we got patients excited about it. Because sometimes, I'm sure you've heard this story before, patients will come into your practice wearing clear aligners or braces. And as a general dentist, or, you're like, wait, we offer clear aligners.
Right.
And like, you never told me that. And so when we can do this from a social media perspective, it allows us to educate our patients and make it more fun for them to know what we offer even before they come and talk to us. Yeah,
that is so true. How that happens in so many practices are like, I didn't even know you did this. And you're like, oh my gosh, so interesting. Now, as far as combining efforts too, like, so, there's what people get wrong. Video go farther, photos go farther. I've heard people say, well, you want to create videos that are TikTok, able, and then you can share them. Is there any things that you're like, okay, that's wrong, or quick tips, or at least frameworks that are like, yes, that is helpful to a practice?
100%. So I would say when you're making a video, make sure that the first 2 seconds you're capturing attention. So you're either creating a bold statement, you're answering a question, you're saying something like, most people don't know this, but here's the answer. So in the video, you want to immediately capture attention. The second thing that you want is to not make the video very long. That is a big mistake that people make. The other mistake that a lot of my clinicians in my dental practices make is they get so clinical in their videos. So they will be showing a beautifully contoured molar occlusal filling and showing that to the patient. And patients don't want it. They don't care about that. Right. What they do care about is imagining, that could be me. So think about that from the perspective. Your patients don't know anything really about dentistry. So you have to take your clinical hat off when you're thinking about content for them. So don't film videos that are bloody, that are gory. As amazing as that implant was placed, your patient does not want to see the insertion site. So make sure that you're really thinking. Even sometimes patients will say, with the retracted photos, they'll say, ew, that's gross. I hate seeing teeth like that. So we have to really understand what our patients are wanting to look for. So don't film videos of very, very clinical things. Film videos of the patients experiencing what's happened because of the clinical things that you've done.
Yeah, that's so cool. And then any specifics around permission too, because again, I haven't revisited this in a while, but either team members' permission or patients' permission. I would imagine you need their permission to post on this, right?
Yes. So I would say have a photo release form in your new patient form now, and just have your patient sign that very simply when they start in your practice. And then also, that's not enough. When you take a picture or a video of someone and you're going to post it on social platforms, even if they have signed that release form ages ago or even recently, let them know. We're going to put this on our social media. We're so excited. And the way that you ask a patient to be on your social media is making it about them. So if I was like, hey, Amanda, I love you in our practice. You are such a light when you come into our practice, and we just want to have more patients like you. Would you mind sharing your experience on how it's like working in our practice so that we can have more patients like you come to our practice? That's the way to ask for that, request, rather than say, hey, I need to put something on my social media. Do you mind if we take a picture of you? Right. Make it about the patient and make them feel excited about it and proud to be on that platform.
Yeah, I like the way you said that. No, I always like to ask this question. It's anyone's guess, but where is social media going? And I'll preface that by saying, my 21-year-old is like, Dad, Facebook's for old people. It's, I'm like, what? Stop. And that's just the talk in our house. But where's your guess? Where do you think social media is going to go in the next couple of years?
I think it's going to continue to be video based. The video content, when we look at the data, it's continuing to be the top performing content on the internet. And so when we look at also the success of TikTok and how fast that's blown up, Reels on Instagram, and how quickly that has taken over, I think it's going to be short, very eye-catching, very quick videos, because people's attention spans are also going down. And people are more interested in seeing and being entertained from these platforms. So I think the video content is going to stay. But the other thing that I find quite interesting is the educational posts. One of the most shared educational posts that we see when we're working, especially with our pediatric practices, is anything that has to do with like mom information. So if there's something about airway, tongue tie, orthodontics, things that a mom might not know without going in for a consultation, or even maybe not know she needs to take her child in for a consultation, that is one of the most shareable pieces of content that we're seeing. So I think that we're going to continue to find ways to educate, and that's going to continue to be really important. But then we're also going to have the video content continue to take over.
Yeah, like you said at the beginning, educate or entertain. I love that. So that's pretty cool. So, wow. Any last thoughts you have on like what dentists get wrong on social media?
I mean, one of the things is just not doing it or not being on it. And I think it's time to embrace it. And I know that can feel like a lot of pressure or it can feel uncomfortable, but remember that it can be what you want it to be. Social media is a tool for you to grow your business. And as much as we can kind of like get into comparison mode or this practice is doing this, remember it's for you. And it's there to represent your practice to the people that want to come and see you. So again, like you said, simplify it and know that it's time to understand it and to get comfortable with it and to even maybe have fun with it, because it will help your business grow. And if you're not on social media right now, it can be seen as like being irrelevant or a non-trustworthy practice because you don't honor digital technology or modern day, communication style. So it's time, and there are ways that you can do this in a fun and exciting way.
Okay, what if I'm a dentist and I've listened to this podcast and I'm like, Allison, everything you said to get wrong, I do wrong. I need your help. How can you help me? Like, what do you do? How can you help a dental boss? How do I find you?
Absolutely. So you can find me on Instagram, of course. So I'm your Clear Aligner Coach. And my website is also yourclearalinercoach.com. And our social media Instagram is clearly IG. So it's clearly Instagram. And what we do to help practices, I grew up in dentistry. And so my mission was to help practices showcase themselves on social media in a way that feels really great for them while making it the easiest possible thing that they can do, because I know how busy dental practices and dentists are. So we coach teams to be able to run the social media if they have that key person. And we're very honest if we think it's going to work or not. Like, nope, I don't think you have a key person that's going to be able to do this. And then we also take over social media practice platforms for practices. So we will run your entire social media platform. And my team is very hands-on. We connect with your team all the time. We train them on the content to take. We help them with checklists. We help them with content checklists. And they give us the content in the rawest form. We edit it, we design it, we make it look really good for your practice, and then we post it on your page so that you don't have to do any of it. You guys get to do the
Okay, you got to go back to that because that seems incredibly helpful. So you would just make me or the team do the capturing, and then you guys handle the scheduling, the producing. I mean, I tried to edit one TikTok video. I think I spent an hour, and I misspelled some things. I'm like, this is not a good use of my time. You guys do all that?
Yeah, so we will send you like an example. We're like, here's an example of a video that we want you to take, and you just take the raw cuts, send it to us. We edit it. We will put your logo on it. We'll make it look really good, add the words, post it for you, and make sure that we do all the hard parts so that you can just do the fun part.
Ta-da. That's it. Drop the mic. That's all I need to know. I think you could help us a lot. So, Allison, this is awesome. And I'll tell you guys, if you have a study club or you're putting together a meeting, you need a great speaker. Allison is fantastic. She could probably talk on any subject and provide a lot of value and help a lot of people there. So, Allison, thank you so much for being on. It's awesome just to get to learn from you. And we're going to have you back and have you cover other aspects. I really want to get into the details of clear aligners and how all that works. And if you're a dentist, how you start the campaign, how it all works. And I know you're the person when it comes to that. So thanks for being on.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun. I really appreciate being here.
Hey, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. So stick around while we say goodbye to everybody else. But thank you guys for listening to the Best Practice Show podcast. Hey, if you enjoyed today, do me a favor. Just hit the share button. Share this with your friends. Keep sending us suggestions at things you guys want to hear, especially on marketing. I'll have Allison back. We'll ask her the tough questions and get the answers from the experts. But until we see you guys next time, or you hear from us next time, keep watching the Best Practice the Show. You guys enjoy your day.